Good to see you, Danny.
Hi, what's your name?
Francis.
Francis. Oh, okay. It's being recorded, but you will show. Okay.
All right. Ready?
Yes.
All right, well, welcome everybody to our Sunday morning meditation and yoga practice. Let's just go ahead and start by standing on our mats and really allowing ourselves to come into this moment. Let's go ahead and start by spreading our toes across the mat. And with an inhale, let's go ahead and draw those toes all the way up as if you're pointing it towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, slowly release. Inhaling, toes up. Exhaling, release. Inhaling, toes up. Release. Inhaling up. And just allow them to fall back down. All right. Let's go ahead and just slowly draw your chin towards your chest. And you're just going to draw circles with your neck. Really just going to start rotating. Just noticing for yourself where the tension lies. Go ahead and change directions. And slowly come to a pause. For our next inhale, let's go ahead and inhale, bring those shoulders up. And as we exhale, we squeeze our shoulder blades together and slowly just draw them down our backs. Inhaling up. And exhaling, squeeze and down. Inhaling up. Exhaling. Inhaling. Exhaling. One more time. Inhaling. Exhaling. All right. For this next one, we'll take our hands and place them on top of our shoulders. What we're going to do is we're going to draw circles with our elbows. And if you feel any tightness in the shoulders, just allow your breath to guide you. Let's go ahead and change directions. And when you're ready, slowly release the hands down. We're just going to step about mat width apart. We're just going to do a slight twisting of our torso and just a gentle twist, tapping your kidneys. Really just loosening up our bodies for the morning. Let's bring it up to our chest. Up to our shoulders. Back down to our chest. To our kidneys. And slowly coming to a pause at your own pace. Let's go ahead and draw your big toes together. Place your hands right on top of your knees. You're just going to slowly draw circles. Really just getting the fluids going. And when you're ready, go ahead and change directions. And when you're ready, slowly come on up. And we'll take our left foot, take a step forward. And we're just going to draw circles with our ankles. Go ahead and change directions. And when you're ready, come on, take a step back. Right foot out. Just drawing those circles. And go ahead and change directions. And when you're ready, take a step right on back. We're just going to come into a light jog. So imagining your energy building from the bottom of your feet as it slowly rises to your shins, to your quads, to your hips, to your core, to your chest, shoulders, maybe a shaking out of the arms. All the way up to the crown of your head. All right. And when you're ready, we're just going to slowly come to a pause. And for this practice, I'm going to invite you all to start by reclining on your mats. So we're going to slowly take a seat. And you're just going to slowly begin to recline on your backs, just laying flat. So with any of these practices, it's always what you choose to do. So anything that you feel some slight pain, it's really your body telling you to, hey, this may not be the day for this. So just listen to your bodies. So with your hands by your side, we'll do some gentle movement here. As we inhale, can we bring our arms all the way up? As if you're trying to reach for something right behind you. And as we exhale, can we bring those hands right back down by our sides? And we'll follow this motion for a few breaths, inhaling, arms up. Exhaling, bring them back down. Inhaling up, exhaling down, inhaling up, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling. And for this next one, as you inhale all the way arms up, you're going to take your right hand, you're just going to grab that left wrist, and you're just going to just do a gentle pull to the right. And then you're going to slowly move your feet to the right. Your body makes kind of this curved shape. It kind of looks like a banana. And if you like to challenge yourself, you can take the left leg, just cross it on top of that right. We'll focus a few breaths here, just noticing the sides opening. And when you're ready, slowly release the hands, bring your body back to center. And as we exhale, just bringing those arms all the way back by our side. Couple breaths here. And with our next inhale, let's go ahead and inhale those arms all the way up. And this time we'll take our left hand, just going to grab that right wrist as we gently pull to the left. And when you're ready, slowly walk those feet to the left. Making that slight curve into a banana shape. And for those who would like to challenge themselves, feel free to take that right leg and just cross it over to the left. A few breaths here. And when you're ready, go ahead and release those hands, uncross those legs if they were crossed, and just slowly coming back to center. And as we exhale, bringing those arms all the way back down by our sides. Couple breaths here. And when you're ready, with your next inhale, let's go ahead and bring the knees towards your chest as we take our arms and slowly hug our legs. You might notice the pressure on your lower back, maybe a slight release just by rocking left and right. And when you're ready, you're going to take both hands, clasp them together. You're going to slowly place your hands on top of that right leg, right on top of the knee. And you're going to fully extend that left leg out. And just for a subtle movement here, can we try to flex our toes so that our toes are pointed towards our forehead? And keeping those toes flexed. When you're ready, slowly extending that right leg all the way up towards the ceiling. Just imagining your heels pushing against the ceiling. And you're going to take your hands and just place them right behind that right thigh. You'll notice there's a gentle pull and push motion here. Pushing with your thigh into your hands as your hands pull on your thigh. And when you're ready, slowly release your hands into T. We're going to slowly bend that right knee. And as we exhale, we're going to drop that right knee to the left. Couple breaths here. Let's go ahead and inhale, bringing that right knee back to center. And as we exhale, we're just going to drop that right knee to the right. And for here, you can take your right hand, place it on that inner right thigh, just as a way to guide it deeper into this stretch. one more deep breath here. And as we inhale, go ahead and release that right arm to T. Bring that right knee back to center. And we're going to slowly take both hands, just grab our feet. And it might look something like this. What we're going to do here, we're just going to slowly extend that right leg up towards the ceiling, just as much as you can. For some of us, our knees will be bent. It's perfectly fine. Couple breaths here. Let's go ahead and take a deep inhale. And as we exhale, can we draw that right knee towards our armpit on the right side? And when you're ready, you'll take that left hand, release that right hand towards your side, left hand on the foot still. You're just going to bring it right across your body. Looks something like this. And we're just going to rock it left and right, just really opening up our hips. And when you're ready, you're going to slowly inhale, bring that left leg up. And you'll notice there's this triangle right in between your legs. You'll take your right hand, put it right between your legs, hands clasped on that left shin. You're going to slowly just allow the back of your head to relax on the mat as you draw that left leg in. Coming into what's known as thread the needle. And for some of us, we might want to rock left and right just to notice the sensation. And if you are rocking, slowly come to a pause. We're just going to release our hands and drop our arms into T. And just slowly allow that left foot to meet the mat. And with our next exhale, we'll drop our knees to the left. Coming into this twisted position. Just really allowing our breath to guide us. And on our next inhale, let's bring those knees back up. And legs are still crossed. And as we exhale, we're just going to drop it to the right. Just noticing for ourselves as we breathe here. And when you're ready, inhaling both legs back up. And just go ahead and uncross those legs. Just allow your legs to fully extend out. And just placing those arms by your side. And just shaking out your legs. Maybe just shaking them left and right. Just loosening them up. All right. So on this next one, we'll do the left side. Let's go ahead and inhale. Bring that left knee towards our chest. Clasp our hands right on top of that left shin as we draw that knee towards our chest. And just with that same subtle movement we did earlier, can we flex our toes so that they point towards our forehead? Couple breaths here. And when you're ready, slowly extending that left leg all the way towards the ceiling as we take our hands and really clasp them behind our left thigh. Just really imagine that left heel pushing towards the ceiling. Just that same push and pull motion here. Hands pulling on the thigh as the thigh pushes into the hands. And when you're ready, slowly release those hands into T. And just going to slowly bring a bend to the left leg. And as we exhale, dropping that left knee to the right. Couple breaths here. And when you're ready, inhaling left leg back to center. And as we exhale, dropping that left knee to the left. And just like we did on the other side, we'll take our left hand, just placing it on top of that left thigh as a guide to come into a deeper stretch. And when you're ready, slowly release those hands back into T. Inhale, bring that left knee back to center. We'll just take our hands here and grab the outside of our feet. And that similar push and pull motion happens here as we push our feet into our hands. And we pull our hands into our left foot. And on your next deep exhale, we're just going to draw that left knee as close as we can to our left armpits. Let's go ahead and slowly release that left arm by our side into T, keeping our right hand right on the outside of that left foot as we take it across our bodies. From here, we're just going to rock that left leg from side to side, just really allowing ourselves to open up this left hip. And when you're ready, slowly come to a pause. And as we inhale, let's go ahead and bring that right leg to meet with the left. We've noticed that same triangle we made earlier, right in between our legs. This time we'll take our left hand, place it right through that triangle, and just grab that right shin, coming to our thread the needle on the left side. Few breaths here. And when you're ready, slowly release those hands back into T as we slowly plant that right foot right down to the mat. And with our next exhale, let's go ahead and drop those knees to the right. And when you're ready, inhaling back to center. Exhaling, dropping the knees to the left. Let's go ahead and inhale back to center. And this time, just allowing both legs to fully extend out, bringing those arms by our sides, just shaking our legs. Maybe it's a left and right motion, maybe it's an up and down motion. So in this practice, we did a lot on one plane of our bodies, laying down. Just take this time to notice our breath as our belly rises with every inhale and the fall of the belly as we exhale. On your next inhale, can we draw those knees back towards our chest? Give our legs that hug once again. And as we exhale, open those arms into T and just slowly plant both soles of the feet towards the mat. This time we'll take our hands, we'll grab the sides of our mat, and really just getting a good grip on that mat. From here, we'll inhale. What we'll do is we'll draw our hips towards the ceiling. And we're just going to squeeze our shoulder blades together into what's known as a bridge. Exhale slowly. Allow one vertebrae down at a time. We'll just follow that dynamic motion of inhale, hips up. Exhaling, one vertebrae back down at a time to the mat. Inhaling up. Exhaling. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhaling. Exhaling. And on this next one, we're going to inhale. And we're just going to hold it here as we bring our awareness towards our breath. Now, notice there's some heat building towards your glutes, your lower back, your core, hamstrings. Just allowing your breath to really guide you here. Let's go ahead and take a deep inhale. And as we exhale, we're just going to release with a and write all down, fully extending that both legs out. Couple breaths here. Just taking this moment to notice what's coming up for your body. Let's go ahead and slowly bring our awareness back into this room. If your eyes were closed, gently open them. Maybe some wiggling of your fingers, your toes. And when you're ready, just roll on to one side. As we slowly prepare to come into our seated position. All right, let's go ahead and take our hands, just place them on our knees. And we'll do some belly breaths. As we inhale, just notice the expansion of your belly. And as we exhale, just drawing the belly towards the back of our spines. Inhaling. Exhaling. And for this next portion of breath work, because it's the beginning of our day, we really want to cultivate some energy and transition into Denny's Qigong practice. what we'll do is we'll take a deep inhale. I'll do it first as a demonstration. Take a deep inhale, really just filling up our bellies. And then we're going to do about 20 short exhale. And it'll look something like this as you place your tongue to the tip of your roof of your mouth. And exhale, extended exhale. Deep inhale. So this next round, let's go ahead and take a deep inhale. And 20 short, quick bursts. Extended exhale, deep inhale, and just return to your normal breathing. And we'll prepare to do that one more time. Just notice how your core is activated, how much intention lies in the belly. So with a deep inhale, filling up that belly, and 20 short bursts. And extended exhale, inhale, and return to your normal breathing. Just take this moment to notice what's happening in your own bodies. And I'll invite you to place your palms together as we end, as we always do. May the light in me shine with the light in you. Namaste. Thank you everybody for your practice. And then I'll just transition right over to Denny for Qigong.
Thank you, Jim. First of all, I'd like to welcome two of our new students. We'll catch up later on how to contact you. So what I'm trying to do is do some exercise, do some breathing exercise as well as joint exercise to complement what Tim was doing and focusing on meditation. So many of you know meditation. Meditation is sitting meditation, focusing on your breath. So we will do that, but actually in our case, meditation doesn't need to be limited to sitting because we're actually capable of 4 different postures. I believe we're the only only species in the animal kingdom that are capable of 4, which is sitting, standing, lying down, and walking. And so when we exercise, which is considered a moving posture, just like walking, we meditate too. So a lot of what I teach is mindfulness in motion, right? But today, just following through on what Tin is doing, and also for some reason, we never got around to doing something with pain, so I thought maybe we'll do some pain. Because when I first met Tin, he said that, he's ready for the operation, and I knew that he plays pickleball with another student of Woody Hong, and they're very competitive, I noticed. So, so they're beating their body into submission, and obviously that causes inflammation, what we call chronic inflammation. And so when Tian said Qigong means different things to different people, but Qi just means life energy, and Gong means the practice of life energy, using the life energies to relieve stress, to heal our body, to reverse chronic inflammation. So let's put that down, we'll come to that. So I thought maybe we'll get to the breathing exercise in a minute, and then also get to meditating on a breath. We don't actually meditate on breathing, and we don't limit it to here. So if you think about our breathings, and you think about a blacksmith, the nostril is just the chimney. The proper way to breathe is actually using the bellow, just like the blacksmith. So we're going to try to move away from the upper body muscle and back to the way we used to do it when we were first born. And the animals still do it, which is the breathing with the diaphragm. So we will get to all that. But right now, let's just do something to relieve some pain. And the thing about the diaphragm, when I was a university professor, I used to teach material, and we call this viscoelastic material, meaning that the diaphragm is elastic. You can do a lot with it, except that when you put it under stress, it stiffens up. So the reason that we don't breathe with a diaphragm anymore is because we're under a lot of stress, and we keep moving up and use some muscle here, because the lung has no muscle. The lung is just like sponges, right? So it needs muscle. So we're going to do a couple of things. We're going to relieve some pain, and then activate what is now called, what very commonly called vagus nerve. So you're going to hear me talk about cavities. Cavities is in fact the name that we use for energy points. All energy points, the word is actually meant cave, is when something is cavity. So I want you to take out your left hand. Then I want you to take out the right thumb, and then I want you to use the edge of the thumb and put it in between the fingers, and just kind of massage in between the fingers, and then go the next one, and then the next one. And then now I want you to do the same thing with the left thumb, and just massage the fingers. Now I want you to come back to the left hand and hold a fist so you can see the knuckles. And again, use the right thumb, use the edge of the right thumb, and fit it between the knuckles, and just massage. Now, while you're massaging, you need to kind of whisper to yourself and says, I appreciate you. I've been ignoring you. And I hope this helps. Okay? Now, we're going to hold the fist, and you notice that each fingers are individual, but in between, there's a channel. So again, I want you to use the thumb and kind of glide through the channel and massage these channels. And then come back to the right hand and massage. Now you feel some sensation, kind of numbness, maybe tenderness, and maybe even pain. So the Chinese perspective of pain is that when there's pain, there's inflammation. And the reason why there's inflammation is because the channel for the life energy is blocked. So these cavities are like the relief valve. So imagine like your plumbing system at home. If the water is not running, you're going to have rust in the plumbing. It's kind of like that. Okay, now, there's 3 energy points in the back of the wrist. And so you identify this channel between the ring finger and the middle finger. You come down, and you put your thumb on top of the wrist. Now, when you move around the wrist, and all of a sudden you find this cavity. Right? It kind of, the thumb kind of naturally fall into the cavity. Now I want you to do some acupressure by pushing it down. And then maybe massage a little bit. Now do the same thing on the other side. The ring finger and the index and the middle finger, put your thumb glide along that channel. until you get to the top of the wrist. Move the wrist a little bit until the thumb falls into the cavity and do some acupressure. And then massage it a little bit. Okay, so if you have any wrist pain, these are one of the 3 energy points that you can work on. The other one, if you run down along the thumb, and again you put the index finger at the wrist, and you move around the wrist, and all of a sudden the cavity appears. So you put your thumb on top of that, do some acupressure, and then just kind of massage it around. And then same thing on the other side, come down, and then just kind of push it in, and then massage. Now, same thing with the little finger, you come down at the back of the wrist, put your index finger there, it's just slightly above the wrist, you move around, and then there's another one, and just kind of press in there, right here, and then press in here. Now, there's a cavity, and it's in between the index finger and the thumb. It's very famous for relieving pain. So if you just kind of, we call that the merging valley. So if you use the index finger, you push down, there's a cavity, right? Now you take your thumb, you open up your index and the thumb, and you see this ridge. You take your thumb, you see this line, you put the line on top of the ridge, you push down with your thumb, but then now you take your right hand, you put that outside of the left hand, and you push in. So whenever you have pain, this is like the magical points that relieve pain. Right? Okay? But it's important that you put the hand on the other side, because when you push down, you want to kind of lean towards the index finger. Now, same thing, let's try it again. Let's try it again. Open up, see that ridge, lift the thumb, put that on top of each other, push down with the thumb, take the left hand, put it outside, and just kind of push down with that. Okay? Now, next time you have leg cramp. Did you try it yet, Larry? When you get your leg cramp, did it work?
It worked a little on my shoulder.
It worked in the shoulder, huh? Yeah. It relieves pain everywhere. Ladies have their cramp pain. My daughter complains about that. That helps a lot too. It just opens up your channel in your body, and it just temporarily relieves the pain, right? Okay, so here's another one. You hold your hand like this, and then just a nice cavity in here. Push down. Now, just try not to do it with your nail, your fingernail. Just push down. Now, there's a magical point that I use for back pain. Just at least not back pain, but more like when I get up in the morning, they're a little bit tight here. And so you straighten up your hand. You see this bone here? You come back to this point. You measure 3 fingers. Then you put your thumb on top of the bone, and you slide to the outside. There's a cavity. You push down. Yeah, and then just kind of move around, okay? All right, so these are things that are good to know, but this is my magic tool. It cost me 25 cents for this ruler. Every time I see it, I remember my father, when we were little, and you do bad things in school, bang, like this. So what I do is I take one of these, and I wrap it with a masking tape, so it doesn't etch. Now we're going to do some scraping. Okay, this is actually very well-known technique. And so you scrape in the inside and you scrape in the outside. So first we're going to scrape in the middle. Now, if you have a carpal tunnel, this is actually a very good technique. I do it like 2 or 3 times because I use the mouse a lot. I use iPhone, it's just nonstop. And so I scrape once before I go to sleep, and then it relieves some of the pain. So you take the ruler, you stretch out your left arm, you identify the middle. You start at the elbow. Okay, at first it's kind of weird, okay? Why would I do that? Causing some pain. But then you realize that, it actually is a very pleasant kind of pain. Okay? Now you look at the arm, you see this bone, right inside the bone. From the elbow to the wrist, and then work on the bone. And then right outside the bone. And then in the middle of the back of the hand, and then along the little fingers. And then just kind of rotate your hand, come back. But make sure you go from the wrist to the elbow, okay? Because these are the energy points. And now the other side. Move up, right below the bone, on top of the bone, outside the bone, in the middle, and then along the small fingers, and then just kind of rotate your hand back. Okay, until you get to the little fingers. Now this area here is actually very well known for improving the quality of your sleep. Okay, and then come back. Now that you clear some of the channel, the next exercise really helps if you have carpal tunnel. So the first thing you want to do is you lift up your shoulder. You lift up all the way as you bring your shoulder to the ears. Then you open it as if you're squeezing an orange in the back, and then you relax. Now you point all your fingers in the front. You bring your 4 fingers, and then you hold it with your thumb as if you're locking it down. You wind up the 4 fingers as if they're springs, and you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. You come back. Again, you lift up your shoulder, you open your shoulder, you lean back, you relax. Then you take your hand, you put the thumb in front of your shoulder. Oh, sorry, that's the wrong one. Okay, so again, you lift up your shoulder, you open your shoulder, you lean back, and then you relax. And then you take your hand, you take the middle finger and the thumb, you put them together, and you stretch it out at 3. This is called the lotus hand. Then you take the lotus hand, you put it in front of your shoulder, you open the shoulder again. Now the back of the hand is facing the front. You go 1, back of the hand facing the front. So you're actually twisting your arm a little bit. Again, back into lotus hand, straighten up your back. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, okay? So this helps if you have pain on the wrist, pain on the carpal tunnel, pain on the elbow, pain on the shoulder, right? We have what is called the frozen shoulder, right? That helps a lot, okay? All right, so now we're gonna learn to massage the back of our neck because we talk about the vagus nerve that actually starts at the bottom of the ear, comes down the neck, and goes all the way down, right? Now, vagus nerve is a big part of what we call the parasympathetic nerve, which is the rest and digest. So most of the problem we have is that we don't know how to turn on the rest and digest autonomous nerve system. We're under stress all day long, right? So what happens is that when you're under stress all day long, you're creating stress hormone, right? Many of them. One of them is called cortisol, which is a steroid. And the problem is that if you don't meditate on your diaphragm, you're not able to come back to the rest and digest. Then you have too much steroid and you become immune to your own steroid. That's why you have pain. And the irony is that your body is full of steroid and the doctor wants to inject more, right? That's the problem. So this is the very simple thing about health is to maintain that harmony between your fight or flight and your rest and digest. That's it. And so the way we are usually too much on the fight or flight, so we want to bring you back to the rest and digest. And the way to do that is to kind of relax. So I want you to take your thumb and just kind of touch, come down, and just come down, and then all of a sudden you feel like there's a 2 cavity here. So I want you to massage that cavity, and then press down with your thumb. And then relax. Now take your right hand, put that on the left, press down with the 4 fingers, grab the left side of the neck as if you're opening a channel. And do the same thing on the other side and pull it to the right. Now lift up your left ear, put that under your ear. This is where the vagus nerve starts. And just kind of massage and then pull over, relax. Tell yourself to relax. Relax. And then the other side, massage and then relax. And then relax, okay? Now the next exercise combines that nerve system all the way down to the back and then connect with your diaphragm. So we're actually doing some deep breathing. And so the way that we do that is we lift up a shoulder, open the shoulder, lean back and relax. And then you take a thumb, put that in front of you, okay? Now you focus on the elbow. This comes in 4 steps. You bring up your elbow So everybody follows, and the shoulder goes to the ear. Now focus on the elbow. You point your elbow back, now you're opening up the shoulder. And then you point your elbow down, you tell yourself to relax. And then you point your elbow forward, and now you put down on the floor. And let's go back to one. So as you lift up the elbow, you're looking straight ahead. As you open the elbow, you're looking at ceiling 45 degrees. As you come down, oh, there we go. Now, we're going to combine that with deep breathing. As you go up, you breathe in until you open. And then as you come down, you breathe out. But then make sure that you relax. If you don't relax, the diaphragm won't move. Breathe in, and then breathe out. In, out. In, out. In, out. Let's do it 2 more times. In, out. In, out. Okay, now we're ready. Let's stand up. We're going to do some more breathing exercise. All that is to prepare ourselves so that we're equal part in energetic and equal part in restorative. In Chinese, we call that yin-yang. Yin is under the sun, influenced by the sun. Yang is away from the sun. And so if you think about it in terms of our physiology or how our species is evolved, under the sun is when you're outside a cave and you're in danger. Your body kicks into fight or flight. And then when you're away from the sun, you're back in the cave, you're in the safety of your family, right? And your body relaxes. So we did all that to prepare ourselves. Now we're ready for the breathing exercise. Different language, use different word. In Sanskrit, it's called Pranayama. Prana means breathing. In Chinese, it says tu na. Tu means to breathe out, na means to breathe in. Now, it's a meditation. It's a mindfulness in motion. So I want you to focus on the center of your palm. I want you to relax. I want you to bring up your hand, follow your hand. I want you to bring it in, and then I want you to bring it down, and then I want you to stand up straight. As you bring up your hand, I want you to breathe in all the way in. As you go down, you breathe out, and then you stand up straight again, totally relax. Breathe in, breathe out. Follow your hand, breathe in. Anchor your mind on the center of your palm, breathe out. Now cross your hand, and then breathe out all the way out. Don't stop in the middle. And then breathe in, and then breathe out. One more time, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, and then breathe out. Now we're going to do 1 minute of standing meditation. So you notice that we meditate when we sit, we meditate when we stand, we meditate when we move, and we can also do meditation while we're asleep, as well as meditation when we walk. We will get a chance to do that in the future. But right now, I just want to meditate when we stand. So I want you to focus on your breath and observe yourself. Know that I'm breathing in. Know that I'm breathing out. Just 1 minute. I know I'm breathing in. I know I'm breathing out. See you next week, Larry. Now, 1 minute is a long time if you think about it as 1 minute long. But it goes by really fast if you just break it up and just think of it one breath at a time. I know I'm breathing in. I know I'm breathing breathing out. One breath at a time. Okay, now we go to the next one. Next one's called balloon breathing. So right foot forward, lean back so the toes are up and you're looking at the ceiling 45 degrees. You bring up your hand high enough so you can see it with the corner of your eye. You roll your body forward and brace yourself looking down. Heel is up on the left foot. And then you open it again. As you roll forward, you gently breathe in. As you go back, you breathe out. You don't stop in the middle. You follow the center of your palm until all the way to the end. And then breathe in again. And then breathe out. One breath at a time. Breathe in. And then breathe out. Now, let's do it one more time. Follow the center of your palm. Breathe in. And then breathe out. Now, follow the center of your palm. And then go from the center of your palm to the bottom of your feet. 1, 2, and then now focus on your breath. One breath at a time. I know I'm breathing in. I know I'm breathing out. Okay, now to the left. You ready? Breathe in. Oh, sorry. Breathe in. Breathe out. In. Out. Breathe in. Now try not to hunch, okay? Because you put pressure on the lung, then it's not gonna breathe as efficiently. So just straight out. One more time. Breathe in. And then breathe out. Now lower your hand. Back to the standing. Another minute of meditation. The next one's going to get harder. This one's going to require some balancing. And so you will notice that when we talk about Qi practice, Qigong practice, it requires, first of all, it requires breathing using the diaphragm. But it also requires balancing, meaning that it requires the separation of your left brain and the right brain. They're separated as long as the membrane in the middle does not inflame. And so my father passed away a couple of years back. It was a long struggle for him. He ultimately died of dementia. And when I look back, it wasn't the loss of memory, it was a loss of balance. So this exercise is actually very good for you, not just for the body, not just for the mind, but also for your neurological health. Now I want you to stand just the right width for yourself. You need to find that. And then I want you to open your shoulder, look straight ahead, relax, and then focus on the center of your palm, bring it up, and bring it back down, lower your knee, and then bring it back up, and as you follow, you stand on your toes. You're looking straight ahead until the back of the hand is touching. As you come down, you breathe in. Now don't hunch, just straight up, straight down. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Stay focused on the center of your palm, okay? No random thoughts. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more time. Breathe in. Breathe out. Now lower your hand, and then 1 minute of meditation. This technique is actually very simple. You notice that there's one thing in common, which is that you always breathe out when you're open, right? So you're already open and you still want to breathe out, meaning that the diaphragm has to come in place, right? That's all it is. Okay, so now 1 minute. Okay, now we'll do the next one called the push hand. Now, we did this last Monday. We had a whole bunch of students here, and as soon as I do that, one of the guys says, "Oh, that looks a lot like Tai Chi." Well, I'll explain in a minute. Now, you just have to stand with the right foot forward, but then you envision there's a water wheel in front of you. You focus on the center of your palm. You bring up your hand as if you're gliding on the outside of the water wheel. You bring it all the way to the top, and then you bring it down, and then you rest your palm right on both sides of your hip. And you're looking straight ahead at the center of the water wheel, and you push. Breathe in, open your shoulder. Breathe out. Follow the center of your palm. Breathe in. Breathe out. Now this, in fact, is a yogic practice, because the word yoga comes from the Sanskrit word yuja, which means body and mind together. Tin used the word yuk, and that's exactly what it is. It comes from the word that describes that piece of wood in front of two oxen as they draw the cart to synchronize them. So this is about synchronizing your body and your mind. Follow the center of your palm, breathe in. Follow the center of your palm, breathe out. One more time. In, open your shoulder, and then breathe out. Okay, now back to standing. Now, so the student says on Monday, he says, "Oh, that's Tai Chi." And I say, yes, except that we call it the no judging Tai Chi, meaning that we don't judge. We just feel the change in our body, feel the sensation without judging. Okay, And this is the last one. So no judging means don't worry about what I think of you. Don't worry about what the guy next to you think of you. Don't worry about how you think about yourself. This is called in the zone. This is just feeling the body breathing in, feeling the body breathing out. Breathe in, breathe out. One more time, breathe in, and then breathe out. Okay, now we're going to do some sit-down meditation, meditating on the qi, which means that we don't just meditate on the breath, we actually try to create some energy in us. So first what we need to do is we need to learn how to sit. So sitting, we call it sitting like a bell. Standing, we stand like a pine tree. We walk like the wind. We lie down like a bow and arrow. So it means that when we sit, we think of ourselves as a bell, a big old Liberty Bell. We divide the body into 7 parts. The legs are like the pedestal that supports the bell. We relax the hands. And then finally, we come to the spine. We focus on the bottom of the spine. Imagine yourself walking up the spine, walking up very slowly, very mindfully, one joint at a time. You work towards the ceiling as if you're stretching your spine. Because when you sit like the bell, the spine is the clapper inside the bell. You need to hang that onto the ceiling. And then you lean back, and then relax. Then you open your shoulder, lift it up, open your shoulder, and then relax. Now you lean back the forehead so the ear's on top of the shoulder, and you tuck in your chin so the top of the head is on top of your spiral cord. Then you come to your eyelid, you close your eyelid, but you don't shut your eyelid, you just relax. Imagine your eyelids are like the drapes. You just lowering the drapes. And then finally, you take the tip of the tongue and you put it behind here, behind the teeth, where the teeth meets the roof of your mouth, and you close your mouth. And then you feel the inside your mouth. You feel wetness because the saliva gland is activated. And the saliva actually comes from inside the tongue. It doesn't come from outside the tongue. It's actually controlled by your brain. And that puts you in the rest and digest. Now I want you to first start with knowing. You notice that I've been saying, I know I'm breathing in. So I want you to start with knowing. I know I'm breathing in. I can feel my breath as I breathe in. I know I'm breathing out. Now we go from knowing to anchoring. We anchor our mind on the belly button. When you know that you're breathing in, relax the stomach as if you're bringing the belly button all the way across the room. And then when you know that you're breathing out, you try to tuck in the stomach as if you're bringing the belly button all the way to the back. Now the key here is that you do it while you're relaxed. If you're not relaxed, you're trying to force your body into doing something, the diaphragm won't do it. So in the beginning, if you're not used to this, don't even try to do it. Just use your mind. When you breathe in, imagine that you are bringing the belly button forward. When you breathe out, imagine that you're bringing the belly button back. Now, very magically, the body will follow. Breathing in, open the stomach, belly button forward. Breathing out, closing in the stomach, belly button back. This is exactly what the blacksmith do with the bellow. You actually want to breathe with your stomach, with your diaphragm. So let's sit for 3 minutes, practicing what the Chinese call mindful of your breath to create qi. The lower stomach is what the Chinese call Dan Tian. Tian is fuel, Dan is fire. So this is actually where you bring in all your qi. one breath at a time. I know I'm breathing in, I'm going to relax my stomach as if I'm pointing the belly button forward. I know I'm breathing out, I'm going to bring it into my stomach as if I'm pointing the belly button back. One breath at a time. Now the exercise that we just did helped you with that. As you practice that Tai Chi-like breathing exercise, you're training your diaphragm and you're moving your muscle from the top, from the shoulder down back into the belly button. This is how we used to breathe. This is how, if you have a dog and a cat at home, just watch. This is how they breathe. And if you know how to breathe like that and that becomes your habit, then it activates your self-healing power. Because when you breathe in, you actually go into fight or flight. And when you breathe out, you go back into the rest and digest. When you're in fight or flight, you're in what we call yang, under the sun. Your body puts out stress hormone to reduce inflammation. And when you're in, back in the cave, back in the safety, then your body relaxes and it cultivates the sensitivity to your stress hormone. The reason why we have chronic inflammation, the reason why we have all these what I call lifestyle disease, things like high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, high probability of having a stroke or a heart attack, dementia, autoimmune, all of that shouldn't exist. It exists because your body doesn't know how to heal itself anymore. The body was designed to be able to heal itself. And the way to do that is to come back to this breathing technique, activating the fight or flight when you breathe in, activating the rest and digest when you breathe out. Now you can actually measure that. The Apple Watch have a metric called heart rate variability, HRV. And the scientists actually correlate that with a marker in your brain and have proven scientifically that by breathing with your diaphragm, you actually reverse aging, you actually reduce your chance of having dementia. There's another study that says that it actually helps with high blood pressure, and then there's another study that says that it would help with autoimmune. That's the first part, just breathing with your stomach. Now, with the little time that we have left, I want you to show you the extension of that. Now we're just going to observe a breath. We don't have to focus on the belly button anymore. And just say, I'm breathing in, I'm breathing out. Now you might or might not feel the movement in your stomach by itself. In my case, this is how I breathe now. I only breathe in my diaphragm, breathe in my stomach. But whatever. I want you now to anchor your mind at the bottom of your spine. As you breathe in, I want you to walk up the spine from the bottom of your spine to the top of the head, and I want you to stretch the spine ever so slightly towards the ceiling. And then as you breathe out, I want you to come down from the top of the head to the forehead, to the tip of your nose, cross the tongue, coming back to the belly button. And as you do that, I want you to lean back and relax. When you breathe in, stretch towards the top. And when you breathe out, you come back, lean back and relax. One breath at a time. Let's do that for 3 minutes and then we'll end the class. Okay? So what you're doing now is you're exercising two of the most important diaphragm in your body. One is the one that's right below your lung, and you're using it to breathe. And the other one is the one that separates your left brain from the right brain. This is a 1,000-year-old, maybe even 2,000-year-old longevity technique practiced today by the Taoists. The reason that usually we think about longevity as in increasing your lifespan. Increasing your lifespan has no meaning. I know of plenty elders who spent the last 10 years of their life looking at the ceiling, waiting for people to come to change the diapers. You don't want that. You don't want lifespan. You want health span. And this is a longevity technique for improving the quality of your life as you age. And you want to start that when you're still young. One breath at a time. Breathing in, stretch the spine, moving from the bottom of the spine to the top of the head. And then breathing out, come down from the top of the head. Now, my master called this wandering dragon chasing the pearl. The reason for that is that as you meditate like this, a couple of things happen. Your mouth is wet, which is good. It means that the saliva is responsible for your reproduction, your immunity, and your digestion. None of that you need when you're chased by the tiger. So you need to restore that to have good wealth. Second thing you notice is that your head is very cool. And then you notice that your entire body is very warm. All that points to good health. And then if you're taking high blood pressure medicine, that's the only thing you have to worry about. Is that if you're taking high blood pressure medicine and you actually practice this, you need to go back to the doctor and see if they will reduce your dosage, because you're actually lowering your blood pressure as you do this practice. The reason why we call it wandering dragon chasing the pearl is that over time, you actually feel some energy rising on your spine. That's the pearl. Once you notice that, then you have to become the dragon. If you've ever seen dragon dance, there's always a guy in front of the dragon holding up a stick with a pearl on top, because the dragon likes to go after shiny object. And what I'm trying to say is that that's the time when you have to kind of let go of your breath. And instead of forcing it to happen, you let it go. You wait for it to happen as if the pearl appear and you follow the pearl. Okay? All right. So this is a nice introduction. I actually cover, typically when I teach this, I do this 7 days a week. Basically, I have 7 classes plus another one that I'm really just the technical support for a monk, actually Tian's teacher. So we typically, when we do this, we alternate. One day we focus more on breathing, and then the other day we focus on a Qigong practice that we call Yi Qing Qing. One day is more energetic, one day is more restorative. Today I'm kind of mix it up a little bit, give you an introduction, okay? And this is not something that you do and then all of a sudden you see the improvement. It takes time, right? It takes time. My mother's out there. She's my first student today. She will be celebrating her 90th birthday, and she's not even the oldest person in my class. Every day we practice an hour and a half like that, okay? And the students occasionally will call in and said, they call me Si Hing, which means Dharma brother. And he goes, I'm so sorry, tomorrow I cannot come. I have a doctor's appointment, which is fine. But very rarely would they call in and say, I don't feel good. I have the sleep part. Very rarely. Everybody's for very good health, right? Okay? All right. So I hope you guys get a taste and find time to come back. All right? And thank you, Jen, for making this happen. Thank you. Thank you, Grace. Really? We're not paying you mileage, you know.
Vero actually was a graduate from yoga teacher training.
Hang on, let me turn this off first.